Welcome back, America. Our next guest is a retired Army airman, a successful businessman, and now a candidate for U.S. Senate in Arizona, Jim Lehman. Jim, great to have you on the show.
Hey, John, Amanda, great to be with you, and thanks for allowing us the opportunity to expose what we're doing out here in Arizona to get to some semblance of election integrity.
Absolutely. Well, that's one of the things I think a lot of Americans don't know. So they know you're running for the Senate. You had this career serving your country, but you have been able to provide authorities there some really significant evidence about ballot harvesting, illegal gathering of ballots in Yuma County. Tell us a little bit about how you came into possession of that and what the law enforcement authorities are doing with it.
So, John, real heroes here, Gary Snyder in Yuma and David Lara, who I've been fortunate to have as good friends, providing them the support morally and financially in order to expose some of the worst, hopefully in the country, but certainly here in Arizona, of election integrity fraud that's been going on. We filmed this, or they did, back in December of 2020, in the primary just before December 2020. It went to the Attorney General immediately thereafter. And out of 35 individuals that were filmed openly committing ballot harvesting, signing ballots that weren't theirs, things of that nature, literally within 100 yards of the polling station, they had no reason to cover it up except we were doing the filming. And turn that over now, 22 months. Out of the 35, at least we've now had one plea deal and one pending. The 2,000 mules has certainly put some pressure on the Attorney General out here to maybe do something about all of this. We've seen two search warrants issued in the last couple of days. So finally some movement. We've also, John, Amanda, for the coming election, a great group of shadow gatherers that we're helping to finance in order that we do more of this, not just Gary, David, but their leadership, that in all the suspect precincts that we have in the state, and there are several, that we want to make sure that not just the polling places are filmed and who's doing the dirty deeds, but also these drop houses, or some would call them on the Democratic side, the nonprofits locations. We're on to their game finally, and we're starting to expose it. And our Attorney General has not done a lot over the last 7 years. I've received the endorsement here in the U.S. Senate race of all the law enforcement organizations, Arizona Police, sheriffs, the National Association of Police Officers, the border. Because, John, Amanda, if we don't have election integrity, if we don't have a secure southern border, and we just don't have a safe country, that we can't depend upon our elections. I served, as you mentioned, 6 years Army paratrooper engineer officer. That was for the basic right of Americans to have safe and secure elections. We don't. We are working hard here in Arizona, including, these undercover operations that we as citizens are undertaking in order to work our way up the chain to do what needs to be done.
Yeah, so important.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are watching folks like you who are pushing for election integrity. And there's been a lot of verbal gusto coming from Attorney General Brnovich, talking about how he wants these people to pay if they have perpetrated crimes and going after these people. But it doesn't seem like he's done enough, and he hasn't done enough fast enough. Do you agree?
Totally, Amanda. Same with the southern border. He's done very, very little to support law enforcement or border over the last 7 years. That's why we're leading by a fair margin in this U.S. Senate race, because the people are, we're pissed off. I'm a business veteran and a business guy, not a politician, but I got in this race in order to beat Mark Kelly, and not as a politician, but to bring some sanity to what the government should be doing. Number one, of course, secure country, including secure elections. Now, I was also one of the electors on the ballot here in Arizona for President Trump, and we saw the shenanigans that were going on. I then helped through all of our electors. We supported having Ducey, our governor, take a look at this. He didn't, and we, of course, moved it up the chain to Vice President Pence. He didn't either. So then when our legislators decided to do the right thing and do an audit, but they didn't appropriate enough money, we needed more, so myself and others stepped in to fund that. Because in business, we do audits to make sure that we find something's not going right, then we fix it. So to me, Americans should embrace it on both sides of the aisle. Of course, the Democrats did everything they could to stop it. Good news is, here in Arizona, we've identified, I'll say ballpark, about 14 laws that we need to pass. 6 now are on the books, and we're working for more. We do have to replace a few squishes that we have on our side, and we're working hard on that. I can assure you in this election to get a little wider margin instead of 1 or 2 on the Republican side, conservative side, in order to get these balance of laws passed so that Arizona can not only lead in audit, but we can lead in election integrity. So working hard out here in Arizona to support legislators that are doing the right thing. We're holding them accountable, but also supporting the right ones in the upcoming election and doing this citizens work. Like I said, there'll be much more this coming election in a few months than just David and Gary. We're going to all of the precincts that are questionable and make sure the drop houses as well as those drop boxes are highly monitored, and we get film on everyone that's wants to do a little time in jail.
Yeah. Well, one of the questions that people who watch 2,000 Mules or have seen some of these videos is, this clearly didn't happen in a vacuum. Somewhere there's a secret hand organizing these people. You mentioned some search warrants. Is it your goal to make sure that the funding operations for this gathering of ballots gets prosecuted, that's the real place to stop this, right? Dry up the money that went to these sort of activities, right?
John, absolutely. There's a much bigger scheme afoot here. This is not, St. Louis in Yuma area. This is pervasive, as we've seen in other counties across somewhere in our own state, many across the country. We hope to move this up the ladder through the help of a lot of other organizations that are involved, including Dinesh, in order to see how far up the chain we can find this. My goal in the U.S. Senate is to absolutely be on top of this as a U.S. Senator, leading the effort, since we've done the most in Arizona on the audit and the citizen side. We got some really good insight as to what we need to be doing across the country. And my goal, U.S. Senate, by the way, is also one database that's accurate so that we truly have one citizen, one vote. Having said, serving in the military, we owe it to our country to have elections that we all believe in and not, take weeks and months to adjudicate.
Yeah, so
but be able to expose this has been eye-opening for us here. And by no means, John, Amanda, are we stopping here. We're full on to make sure this gets exposed, gets prosecuted, whoever we have to hold accountable, and then serve in U.S. Senate to really, truly, hopefully start exposing us across the country.
Such an important mission.
Yeah, Jim, speaking of elections being adjudicated in a timely manner, let's talk about Pennsylvania. They still have yet to produce their Republican nominee. Are you concerned that this is going to happen in Arizona as well in your primary?
Could well be, Amanda, but we have some of those laws that we passed are on the books now. So we're getting better every election. I wish, that we had a little better majority. I wish the Democrats would participate with us in getting these laws passed so that we don't have these questions. We ask our military, we ask our law enforcement to do the right thing, and then we don't have confidence in our elections. It's just, not what America, our foundation of freedom is based on. So we're going to do the best we can this time. We're going to do much more surveillance on questionable precincts for sure. From the U.S. Senate, I will certainly be holding our next governor and attorney general, who've been unfortunately not doing the work they should have been doing to make sure that the people feel confident in their elections. It's not asking too much.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that's asking too much, and I think that most Americans feel that way. But Jim Layman will be keeping an eye on your race and your primary, and we appreciate you coming on.
Don, Amanda, thank you very much, and stay tuned. More coming, and U.S. Senate race, JimLayman.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Sounds great. Take care. And we talked a lot about Maricopa County, but Yuma, Pinal, and a lot of those counties that we started off talking in that segment about, its issues all across Arizona. Coming up after the break, Nicholas Giordano, professor of political science.